If they do that, they're going to be very, 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 very tough to beat.
Wilson! Oh! And we are tied!
Let's go! Call them Phi Slamma Jamma.
And I don't ever let them forget where we come from.
Getting those phones out before me acting ignorant.
Zion Kris got his way through, and he may go! Kris is in! Houston leads out of nowhere!
Seventh heaven for Houston. The Cougars advance to their seventh Final Four.
Go Cougs! Let's go! It's so good! The dream remains alive for the Houston Cougars!
Welcome into another edition of Let's Rage Coogs, presented by the Saxenian family here on this Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, wherever you may be listening, however you may be listening, live following Houston's 66-56 victory over the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Cougars get back on track to their winning ways, led by Emmanuel Sharp, who finished with 17 points. Milos Uzan right behind him with 15 points. Not necessarily the most prettiest or cleanest game, but at the end of the day, UH got the job done. They jumped out early to that 22-point lead. Notre Dame tried to rally, cut it to as much as 4 points to the deficit, but then Houston was able to get it back in control and ultimately win by double digits. We're going to talk all about this game in a second, but of course, everyone here on the show, Kris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review, Dayon Dunlap, and Fluff. How are y'all doing on this Wednesday afternoon?
Doing great, man. Get another win. Like you said, ugly is great as long as we, get that W. It's all good.
Agreed. I'm doing great, man. We're talking about a Cougar win.
Yeah, same, man. Same as you guys. I mean, I'm doing good. Get to see us get out to a fast start. Kind of be on one accord defensively most of the games.
When I look at this game, a couple things stand out. We got to talk about Ramon Walker and the spark that he had in that second half. I mean, he came in, he hit a three, he had a couple rebounds. I mean, he was providing some offensive sparks. Sacco had a nice move in the post in the second half, and it just seemed like Houston, when it came to those 50-50 balls, they were chasing after. Coming away with much more of those 50-50 balls in this contest. And then even looking at the rebounding battle in this game, Houston won it 44-34 when it came to rebounds overall. It seemed like much more of a traditional Houston Cougars win when it comes to toughness in those categories and what they were able to do. And then a lot of players got into this game, and it seemed like everybody that stepped on the court, they were ready and they provided what Kelvin Sampson was looking for, what we have become accustomed to when it comes to Houston Cougars men's basketball team over the course of the last 2 years.
Yeah, if I can go first, I think start with Ramon. Immediately, I started to see some things that Malik brought last year. Immediately toughness, just loose balls, offensive rebounds, just some of the things that we would need. And then you add some of his shot making that he showed. Even when we went on a drought, he got an and one. And so he might be carving out some much needed minutes in a role, because the spark that he had today, I think could be needed going forward.
It was great to see. Kelvin played 11 guys in the first half. I mean, part of that was probably three games in really 2.5 days. And then he brought in Khalifa in the second half, and Khalifa did a good job in those 10 minutes. But I noticed him on the bench toward the end of the game. He looked like his back was bothering him again. He was kind of wincing, sitting on the bench. So, because I reached out to the staff during the game, first half, if he's going to play. When I saw Big Sed come in first as the first big man, and then everybody else but Khalifa played in the first half. So I wondered if they're going to try to rest him rather than play him 3 straight games. But Kelvin, he trusted him and throws 10 minutes in the second half, and he came through. Kingston did not score, got in foul trouble. JoJo got in foul trouble, but he did rebound better, Fluff. He rebounded better. So that's it.
Kingston had 1 point.
1 point. Made a free throw at the end of the game. He spent 2 free throws. That's right. Yeah.
I think it's, like we said, we always happy with a win. But, I think it's one of those games we was trying to get through. You know what I mean? Like, not saying we weren't trying to win the game, but I think it was a game where we could try a few things and still get the win and different lineups and seeing what different schemes work. I think that today was one of those games. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I'm happy everybody, got an opportunity. Not everybody, but people got an opportunity to show what they got, and it keeps the morale of the team good too because those guys that would sit on the end of the bench a lot, sporadically when they get to play, practice will be better. You know what I'm saying? Because now they're feeling a little better about being a part of everything that is going on as far as on the winning side and us being 7-1.
It was good that everybody got to play. The hustle was there. The scrap. Bursey picked up 3 fouls in the first half, but he came in and produced. He was effective. He hustled. It was good to see guys hustling, playing Cougar basketball. That's a positive going forward.
And although Kingston didn't score, he still had a dominant game from a point guard perspective. 5 assists, no turnovers. He's like a pass ahead. So like
Yep.
he sees where the rotation is coming from. He's a pass ahead. And then his first step, I'm really, really noticing his first step is like it's lethal. That first step, he getting by his defender 9 times out of 10.
And he also got 5 rebounds to go along with it.
He found other ways to help the team win.
And I think the good thing about it is, being able to do other things and helping the team win is one thing, but being okay with it as far from a morale standpoint, like he looks the same as if when he had 25 last night. It's not, he's a winner. And
Great
that's
point.
what I love about him too. Is like, he has the same attitude he had last night, having 25, having won. And I think that impresses the scouts too. And impresses, of course, Coach Sampson, which is more important at this point. And he's one of our leaders now.
That's a great point, Fluff. And it was a gritty win. And Coach Sampson said after the game on the court, I think that's something for all of us to consider and keep in mind is this team is learning how not to beat themselves.
Yeah.
Where last year's team was so veteran laden, it was unfortunate to the very last game. They did not beat themselves for much of the last season once they got out of Vegas last year. This year's
Yeah.
team is still learning what they need to do. Make those winning plays that they didn't do, enough of against Tennessee. It's November 26th, and now get some time off and
Yeah.
to get ready for the December.
Get some turkey,
Well, and they're gonna have a lot of days to unwind. And I'd imagine they'll probably come back to Houston tonight. I won't
Yeah.
stay overnight in Vegas.
Yeah, no, they're coming back tonight.
And then they don't have a game until December 6th when they play Florida State at Toyota Center. So they're gonna have a lot of practice and really a chance to break down all the film that they got from these past 3 days in Vegas and learn from it and grow, and much needed days off after having three games in less than 3 days.
And 3 games in 3 days for everybody is a grind.
Yes.
Especially for freshmen who haven't done it on the college level before. So that was a learning experience as well. And you see Coach Sampson, he's tough on all his players. But you see him really getting after Kris Sinak because he really expects a lot from him. And Kris, he's going through the motions in the first half on defense. He's a tad bit late here or there. He doesn't get a rebound here and there. But with the first half tonight, JoJo got some of those rebounds. So this is all a learning process for the youngsters. It was good to see Emmanuel score. He did not get in foul trouble. As he said post game last night, his second foul was on him. It was his fault. He has to learn from that and not sit down for a whole 15 minutes in the first half. So he did a better job tonight. So everybody learned something from this game.
Brown Box on X, big shout out, says he loves the show. And today, like I said, today was kind of those. It's kind of a funny coincidence that obviously Sampson said this team still doesn't have that that same type of identity. And when I'm thinking back to last year's team when they were coming out of Vegas 4-3, and they obviously had dropped 2 out of 3 in Vegas. And remember, some people thought the sky was falling, but they were similar in terms of those 2 games that they lost. They very well could have come away with wins, and there were plays here and there that ultimately led to them losing those games. And obviously, in this case, they ended up having much more victories than they did last year. They came away with victories on 2 out of the 3 games in Vegas this year, but um, similar circumstances where they jump out big, at least in this case, in both Syracuse and obviously today against Notre Dame, and then they kind of have to hang on, and they did a much. I feel like they now granted Notre Dame and Syracuse a little bit different teams, but they did a lot better. Maybe you could make the argument they already learned from their game on Monday against Syracuse, where when Notre Dame made their run, they cut it down to 4. They didn't panic or anything like that. They just went back to playing the right day. Even during that whole run, for the most part, Houston was still kind of winning those 50-50 balls, getting those rebounds, making stops. And some of it, Notre Dame was just shooting well from behind the arc, and they were getting to the free throw line, especially to end the half. And ultimately, they kind of wore out Notre Dame, and again, ultimately, we're still able to win by double digits.
The Cougs got to the free throw line in the second half and made their free throws. They had a field goal drought, but they made their free throws. They were 16 for 18 from the line the last 10 minutes.
I was thinking, because I was, watching it here, I was thinking that I think every game we're going to kind of go through a drought. It's just about how long we're going to go through it. It's starting to seem like we're going to have little times in the game where we're going to have a little drought. And we got to just figure out how to get out of it quicker as far as offensively. I think that's just sometimes happens to us sometimes. Even last year, we've seen it. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're going to just have a drought sometimes.
And part of that, I agree with Fluff, is how long will it last?
Right. And the key is, Kris, and everybody, the key is that we have to understand that can get it, that can be detrimental to us getting that crown. We have to figure that out, in practice or, on the board, whatever it is before the game, positions, spacing, whatever it is. You know what I mean? We have to figure that out a little quicker to, as we get deeper and deeper into the season.
And part of, Milos played 38 minutes, and a lot of that was probably because Kingston was in foul trouble and on the bench. Because Kelvin, I'm sure, did not want to have Milos play that many minutes on day 3 of this event. But the drought, different guys missed shots, but they put their head down and attacked the basket and got into the paint.
True.
The field goal drought ended, as Dayon said, because Ramon Walker followed up a missed shot and scored a putback in the paint. The paint is your friend. It's not the enemy. If your outside shot is not falling, get to the paint. Get to the bucket, attack that bucket, and go up strong, get foul called, make your free throws.
100%.
Emmanuel was decent, but I want him. He was only 1 for 5 on 2s. He's got to be more efficient from 2.
I think he lost it. I think he lost it a little too much.
Yeah,
like, as far as like when he
avoids
when he get in there, it's not like, it's and get in there. I think sometimes it's a push and to kind of trying to worrying about the help or the defender coming. He got to go ahead and let his teeth bleed sometime or get hit in the nose, whatever. You know what I mean? He got to be able to take those bumps. He's strong enough and big enough, so he physically he definitely can do it. So, I think he will though.
Question for y'all.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Kris, just to cut you off, but this was something I found interesting when looking at the minutes played. Isaiah Harwell only played 12 minutes tonight. Struggle 0 for 4 from the field, missed the 2 free throws that he had, and then obviously we talked about Ramon Walker and the impact he had when he came in. He played 23 minutes tonight in the win over Notre Dame.
Well, I think D jinxed him a little bit because last night D said, you made down all the merit. Samson sneaking watching Let's Rage Coogs, man, because D said last night, I'm telling you, he got somebody telling him something. Because D said last night, he make down him, so he playing 20. He come back today, get 12. Samson probably said, man, listen. Slow down a little bit, but he got to be productive. Like Dion said yesterday too. Like he has to be productive. We can't 22 minutes or 20 minutes or 24 minutes in a college game is a long time if you're not productive and you're not doing what you're supposed to do as far as from an offensive standpoint. Because defensively, we're gonna do what we have to do. That's your only way ticket to getting on the court. So if you're not doing nothing offensively and you're expected to. It's different with Tugler because maybe we don't expect them to, even though we're trying to force it, but we still don't really expect it. We expect Harwell to score. So, hopefully, both ends figure out what his role will be on this team.
Ramon took Chris Sinak's minutes.
Oh no! I think he really took Hartwell's minutes in the lineups from what I saw because I think he put some teaching tape on for Isaiah, catching and shooting, driving, attacking the glass, and defending. Because for the majority, he still had two bigs on the court. Whether it was especially in that second half, Sacco and JoJo. And so I think he was taking Hartwell minutes in that second half, and I think he put a lot of teach tape on, especially from hearing Ramon, the leader that he is. He probably might pull a young fella to the side. Like, look, this is like right here. This is gonna get you spots. Like, let's stay in after the lay a little bit. Let's knock down these shots where your shots gonna come from and stuff like that.
To your point, Chris, too, though, Sanak only played 14 minutes himself as well. So interesting, just minute-wise when it comes to how this game played out.
First half, Ramon played 10, Chris played 8, Isaiah played 8.
Chris, did you see Isaiah before the season?
No.
Okay.
Before he got injured? No.
Okay. I was just going to ask was he moving like a little step faster?
He hasn't been himself for 2 years. He's still trying to trust himself after the injury and the surgery.
Okay. Thanks. So that ACL take how long really to get back to yourself?
And then he got injured again. He's been injured twice.
Was it meniscus?
Surgery. Yeah.
It was meniscus?
He had ACL, and then he had an ankle and a thigh.
Sheesh.
I was probably overcompensating for that one leg. I'm not sure if it's the same leg or what, but yeah. I mean, just his size on the court, his height and length, it looks the part. So it's just about him for me when I'm watching the game. Just settle in a sense of okay, when the shots come, take them. I mean, you never go. Nobody tries to miss shots. So it's not a fact of him missing shots. He's just finding ways to contribute. Whether it's offensive rebound, he defends well for the most part, and his versatility on the defensive end because his height and length gives him an advantage to guard multiple positions. So I think just like what Ramon was able to produce on the court today, I think Hartwell can do that. But like Chris is alluded to those injuries, I think once he kind of settles back in, he'll start to find himself. But Mercy in that second half. Because that first half, all I'm thinking of is like Coach Self just told him, man, you foul to do that. The second half, he stopped fouling and he was sitting in that chair and locking down on defense.
And
great
getting rebounds.
He was in position.
Let's not ignore that now.
Down. Yep.
Let's not ignore that now.
Yep. It's all a learning experience for everybody with this team, and I think the staff as well, learning the roles, defining these roles. Because Ramon, at first half, some of Ramon's offense was like high school Ramon. I mean, Ramon was looking to score. He was making, moves, quick shot. Ramon at UH, his freshman year, he was a grinder. He was grinding on the floor, And I was like, this looked like Shadow Creek Ramon.
Man, shout out Creek Lamont.
Mhm.
I caught a playoff game when he went head to head against Bryce Griggs. Bryce had 40 and 10, but uh uh Ramon had like 30,
Yeah.
right at him, 30 and something. And so in high school, he was putting the ball in the basket.
And before he had the shoulder surgery, his shot release and form was much better. As Andy noted, after the surgery, his shot looked broken because his arm and shoulder was all injured and everything. And I think he's coming around on his shot and form, and so that could be a
They
plus
looked
as
fluid
well.
tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Let's pause for a second. I'd like to remind everybody that is watching that this is Let's Rage Coogs presented by the Saxenian family. Let's Rage Coogs, the original Houston Cougars postgame show after each and every single football and men's basketball game, going back to the 2022 Elite Eight run. The LRC has been going live shortly after each and every single men's basketball and football show. Of course, we also like to say thank you to today's secondary sponsor, which is Star Pizza, with 3 locations throughout the Houston area. Star Pizza is your go-to stop before and or after the game. Check them out online at starpizza.net. Check out their various specials, desserts, appetizers, and check them out on social media for their daily post and daily specials at Star Pizza HOU on X, Star Pizza Houston, Texas on Instagram. Of course, a big shout out to the primary sponsor of this edition. It's Let's Rage Coogs presented by the Saxenian family. Big thank you to Steve Saxenian for being the primary sponsor not only of this edition, but each and every single episode throughout the men's basketball season. A look at the final box score for Houston in their 66-56 win over Notre Dame. And like I mentioned at the top of the show, Emmanuel Sharp led the way in scoring with 17 points. Just 5 of 16 shooting from the field, 4 of 11 on his threes. So like Kris, like you mentioned, just 1 of 5 on his shots inside the three-point line. He had 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Manos Uzan right behind him, 15 points, 4 of 10 from the field. Got to the free throw line 4 times, hit all 4 free throws. And JoJo Tugler had 10 points, 8 rebounds before he fouled out in this game. I think even though JoJo Tugler only had 8 rebounds, he was much more active overall over the course of this game. So I'm sure Kelvin Sampson, the coaching staff, lit into them after last night's performance in that game. But he fouled out. But I don't really. I mean, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like he did a much better job of playing cleaner and much more in control, even though he ultimately ended up fouling out.
He had 5 boards in the first half. His first half was better, more in control. He picked up 3 fouls in the second half in 8 minutes. So he did that to himself. He was more of this season out of control JoJo in the second half than he was in the first half.
I mean, I want to ask you guys, what do you want from JoJo?
Does not get in foul trouble in the first half.
But I'm saying, like, just totally.
Well, he's got to stay on the floor so he can impact shots,
Rebound,
play defense,
defend,
block, and rebound.
And
That's the main thing.
Okay.
Because Houston's a much better defensive team when he's on the floor when he's not. That also, I mean, that's a great point, Kris. That also attributed, it's not a coincidence, that's when Notre Dame made their run to get back in the game.
And he picks up his fouls in bunches. Like he gets
it's like this.
Yeah. 3 fouls in 8 minutes. That hurts everybody.
Right.
But Sacco came in, his 10 minutes in second half and got it done.
I was wondering this, though. I know it's only one game. I've seen, Kingston play 15. No, yeah. Kingston played 22. Kingston played 22 and Senac played 15. So, I'm wondering, are we going to try to go vet style a little bit more? Or are we going to kind of stay what we've been doing with a little mix of, maybe letting the bench be a little, expanding the bench a little more?
Well, Kingston would play more if he's not in foul trouble.
No, I understand, but I'm saying Kris played 15 minutes.
He didn't have it today.
I know, I get it. No, I agree, I get it. But I'm saying, I'm just wondering moving forward, are we gonna have that? Is he gonna have that short leash? I'm not expecting you to give me the answer, but I'm just saying I'm curious to see as we move on. Is Kris gonna get a little bit, you know, the leash get a little tighter on how hard he's playing and road. He's kind of late to the rim sometimes. Little stuff like guys going to lay up, he kind
Yeah.
of reacting like after the guy's already there or whatever. I'm just wondering how tight the leash is gonna be as we keep getting into the season.
Well, honestly, I think Fluff. It depends on Kris. His this week hasn't been his best week so far of his young season. I think he'll do better. He got time to probably refresh these next few days before the game on December 6th. The talent is there. I think he's probably down on himself right now because coach is
Yeah,
getting on him.
yeah.
So I think he's
That's probably new for him.
right. So
Or
I
a
think
little new, at least a little new for him.
so. He's probably
I know
pressing as
Samson's not
well.
his high school coach. You know what I
Yeah, so
mean?
he's probably pressing.
Yeah.
So he'll be fine. It just might take him longer than he probably hoped.
And it was often times where the camera caught when he was on the bench, Coach Hampton talking to him,
Mm-hmm.
and it seemed to just be teaching moments. He like, "I got you, Coach," just reading it, reading his lips. It seemed to be like, "I got you, Coach." So it seemed to be a lot of teaching, or
Yes.
a
And to
lot of
his credit,
coaching.
Kris was
Yeah,
looking at him eye to eye. He wasn't wandering
right.
around like, yeah, whatever,
Yeah, he's
coach.
like, "Yeah, I got you, Coach. I
Yeah,
got
oh,
you."
yeah.
Just paying attention.
Yeah, old man, I don't get out of my face, old man. None of that. So that's good too.
Yes. That mean he want to be better. That mean he want to be great. He
Yeah.
want to get better. Well, guys, I really wanted to make sure I got in on here with you guys. We got practice we got the prestigious University of Houston, but we also have the prestigious Elm City Elite. So I wanted to make sure I got on here with my Cougs before before I had to have practice. So I just want to let the fans, everybody know, we still rolling 7-1, and we're gonna keep it going.
Thank you, Coach Fluff.
No problem, man. Go Cougs.
Yes,
Appreciate it,
sir.
Fluff.
Appreciate you, Fluff.
Happy Thanksgiving, brother.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys, and eat good.
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
Gain the
Lots,
7
lots.
pounds, and then as soon as Friday morning hit, go right to the gym.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I
Hold on,
mean?
Fluff.
Sir.
Fluff. In your greens, you got turkey or pork.
Say it again.
In your greens, you got turkey or you got pork in them greens.
Man, I never even thought about that, man. Listen, whatever they serve me, whatever they got it. Yeah. Hey, D, whatever they got, man, I'm eating. You know what I'm
I
saying?
got you. Okay.
All right, guys.
All right.
All right, love you
Yes,
guys.
Fluff.
See you soon.
Much love, brother. Yeah, I think I'm making probably got 3 stops tomorrow. So my sister, my best friend's mom, and my neighbor. So whatever they serving, I'm gonna eat, bro. So, but it was honestly
This game
has
was
there
never in doubt, though.
yeah has there ever
Never in
been a
doubt.
Coach Sampson team at Houston that did not have scoring droughts?
Right.
No.
I mean,
Yeah, no.
honestly,
That's part of it. And the defense always keeps them either in the game or keeps the lead or however the game is going. But that's always been, and like Coach Sampson summed it up after the game, went to ask about it. He was like, "We didn't make shots.
yeah,
Mhm.
Hey, you got to put the ball in the basket." And so, like you said, Chris, it's always been a thing that's happened under Coach Sampson.
but I get your thoughts on this because I do kind of agree with Greg Anthony. At times they do slow down too much instead of pushing the pace and get bogged down the half court instead of trying to score quicker in the shot clock.
Agree. I agree. And then he also, in that same breath, was saying like when the game kind of slows down, they need somebody to throw it to. They don't got to be back to the basket. It could be just in that mid post area often, like it was J1. J1 wasn't really back to the basket, backing nobody down. It was most of the time in that short post. The last post that we had that was backing people down, I think was Carlton, Josh
Yeah, Josh
Carlton.
Carlton. Mm-hmm.
And so I think just we're gonna need Chris and Knack because we were throwing it down to JoJo and it's not as fluid.
Right.
Just to keep it simple, it wasn't as fluid. We're gonna need Chris to catch it like the very first play of the game, catching that mid post area, whether he's face up, and shoot over the top or do whatever move he get to and just go to work. We're gonna need that when the game slows down. But I definitely agree with him. I think too often we slow it down and try to score against a set defense versus creating those unscripted points. We're playing faster in transition and things like that. So, like kind of Fluff said it like last time, we got to have a transition, and if it isn't there, you get into like a semi-transition play before we get into a set.
And let me say this: when Emmanuel zipped that pass to Sacco, and Cliff got that dunk, I was shocked he caught it.
Yeah.
Because so far this season, a lot of the passes he's fumbled, he's bobbled them, and he hasn't. But he caught that one and finished with a dunk, and then he had the nice little pivot move and scored as well. Hopefully, his back issue will lessen over these days off and won't be a long-term issue throughout the season, because you can see the production he can bring. He had a nice block shot as well. So
Only
he's a
thing
positive.
is, with said late, like we're going against them big boys the last night with strength. We're gonna need Big Said because he got
He got
grown
big
man
feet
strength
too.
that
Yeah,
nobody got. Yeah, big feet, hands, and it reminds me. Remember when we lost to Villanova? They had the post that were just stronger than us,
yeah.
and Said is the strongest. Looks by far. So I don't know if he just played tonight, like you alluded to, Chris. And I want to play soccer, 3 games straight. He's a little older, back issues, what have you. But it may be a time where we need that brute strength from said. He knows the deep, he knows the system, and so he's shown that he's gotten better.
Yeah,
And
he's an
said
interesting
sets
case
good
too.
picks, because
I mean,
that's a
he's
big
been
dude to get around, man. you
he's been
know.
around the program for 3 years, so you know, he's been around. He knows the culture. He knows the expectation. He knows what Kelvin Sampson expects from him when he goes out there.
So he didn't stuff the stat sheet or anything like that in his 8 minutes, but he didn't hurt the team. I mean, his screens were solid. You put him in that pick and roll and let Kingston run his man into that big old wall of, that weight weighs on players too. You got to run into this mountain of a young man. So I like it. I like to see Sid play some more, just to lay the lumber on some folks sometimes. Hey, Sid, that guy on the other team, he's a problem for us. Go take care of that. Yes, sir, coach. You got it. Nothing dirty, none of that. But let the young man know, yeah, I'm in here now. All that stuff you're doing before, it's over. That kind of play. Andy, I want to give you props, man, on the
What's up?
screen, going in between the 4-person, 3-person screen. You
I
still
got
got
the
the
hang of it.
sponsors up, and you still got the
Yep.
chat box up. Salute, brother. Salute.
I had some time to mess around with it, play with it. So I got it. I got it done. Although sometimes it trips me up, but I think I got the hang of EV Mugs.
So yeah. This our new streaming platform, I think, is for us and where we're going to keep going in the future. Indeed. But Dan, you didn't answer your own question, man. What you like in your greens?
No swine ever.
I didn't know what when I said out loud, I knew the answer. I knew what you're gonna say. Yeah.
For sure. I'm looking forward to tomorrow though, man. We normally last year I actually hosted and brought a lot of family to the house, but traditionally we have it at my aunt's. And so my grandmother's getting up there in age and she's my grandmother's oldest child. So we're all gonna be over there kind of like old times. And I'm really, really cherishing the moment because you never can count the days. And
True,
I'm really
brother.
looking forward to getting all of us, being there with my grandmother, all her kids, and having us all there like we traditionally be. It's been a minute since we all been there, been in different places. So I'm really looking forward to it.
So yeah, enjoy that, man, because in my age, my dad is all that's left. My mom has passed on, my grandparents passed on, gone to the ancestors. So it's me and my sister. So going to my best friend's mom's house, my best friend died, like 11 years ago, but her mom's like my second mom. So she makes sure that I'm okay, invites me over for Thanksgiving for the family. So, family's important, man. That's one thing I really love and appreciate with Andy and Down and Fluff. We're family, man. We are brothers. So it's much love, and it's great to chop it up with you guys and the Let's Rage Coogs family as well. Through the wins, more wins than losses, which will be the case this year, no doubt about that. Might be some bumps on the road throughout this season, but that's okay. I looked it up, even though it was 2 losses in Vegas last year and just 1 this year. The Cougs were ranked 17th after Vegas last year and moved
Yeah,
up
they're sitting at
all the way.
4-3. Yep.
So, yeah. So the sky isn't falling. They're not playing great basketball right now. They got things to work on and improve and get better. They know that. We know that. But the 7-1 and the objective still remains the same. Get those in the season with a 6-game winning streak. And then have a Less Rage Coog show after dark. And then have another one on Tuesday when we're all sober. Andy, do you drink?
On air? Yeah, I mean, yeah. On air, well, in case of any student ever finds this, apparently people, I can't answer that question on air, Kris.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, I mean, I work at a school too, so yeah, never mind. Never mind. Yeah, forget all that. Never mind.
Drinking is legal if you're of age. I drink.
but
I teach
but
as well, but
But I will say to your comment, Kris, absolutely. See, we'd have a show. It's just on the court. You just see whatever the heck we can find and what the celebration is, and then of course we'll talk about the game and what it means and everything for the first national championship when it comes to the Tuesday after, and it's coming soon.
It is. But I mean, this game. I mean, let's see. The Cougs played last night. That game ended 7:30 our time, and played today.
2:30,
17 hours afterwards. Not a full 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So it was going to be ugly was or a grind, which probably should have been expected.
Eric Crabtree's comment, this team is a work in progress like last year and really interesting to see what coach has in store. I'm confident he'll get it right. And that's the main thing right there. They're a big work in progress, and that's what makes this team the most exciting because they're not even close to what their true ceiling can be because of the freshmen, the talent, the just the raw potential that they have to continue to grow. Like this is going to be a team just this time next month. At the end of December, I think that they'll look much more different. That Florida State, like I think that, over these next 10, 11 days that they're off, we're going to see a huge jump in this team over the course of the next 10 days. Like this is a team that their best basketball is way, way in the future.
Agreed for sure. And it is part of the process, part of getting better. As Coach Sampson has hammered into us every year we've covered him. Get better from October to November, November to December, December to January, January to February, and then play your best ball in March and ultimately April. Because individual talent, this team is probably more talented than last year's team. But it's not a veteran team, and it's not the guys learning different roles and what they need to do to shine in their own role. But when it all fits, they're clicking, I'm looking forward to it.
Kris, one thing I did want to mention, and this this isn't about Houston, but you kind of brought it up, and it's very interesting to see how Syracuse has done in the other 2 games that they played in this event after Houston. They just got absolutely destroyed today by Iowa State, and then they lost to Kansas by 10 points, 11 points last night. So I mean, shoot, you hit the nail right on the head. They were motivated for that Houston game, and then they kind of fell off a cliff after that.
And we'll see what they do in December, because Iowa State is a good team. We know that. But Taman Lipsey didn't play, right? He's out, and they lost by 30-plus points today.
Yeah, it was bad.
So, but they have to decide if their game against Houston was their high water mark of the year. If it was, then they're going to be in trouble, because the Cougs have plenty of other games against elite competition in Big 12 play. Heck, in December, I'm looking forward to the game on December 20th in Newark. Mid-tier programs, they get up for the elite teams. What are they going to do the rest of the games?
Well said, because it's many times during the broadcast where they was like, almost like a moral victory. They said it for Syracuse and they said it for Notre Dame. This team will be able to take this and like they hung in there with Houston.
Well, let's see what they do, to carry that point on. Let's see what they do Notre Dame as well. What will they do in conference play? What will they do in February? Injured players, key players are out. Yeah, that's part of basketball too. You still got to win. And we say it in media, we harp on it. Next man up. The team said next man up. There's never been an asterisk by the team. Well, their best player didn't play today. Did they win or lose? They lost. Well, there you go.
I'm assuming he's talking about Houston. Crabtree's comment about UH. Do you know where they're ranked offensively and defensively in KenPom, Chris?
I don't have a subscription to KenPom this year.
It's still early.
Offense probably. I mean, that's about right, because I think Crabtree, he follows that. But the offense is figuring it out. There's not. You knew LJ was going to get his and come through 8.5 out of 10 times last year. Right now, this year's team is trying to figure it out. Who's that going to be? Consistently. Is it going to be Milos? Is it going to be Manuel? Is it going to be Kingston? The defense not being 2, that still kind of surprised me. I think more that's probably the opponent they played prior to this week.
Yeah, that's all right. They're Houston's 33 in offense. And talking about their offensive rating, their defensive rating, they're 2 in the country. Right behind Michigan, which talking about teams that look real good. Michigan did look real good yesterday against Auburn. Jeez.
Yeah. And they got a big that they can rely on down low, just like Gonzaga. Gonzaga look good.
Oh, yeah.
Graham Ike. Big fella, go to work. Cougs is still looking for that big man to go to work. And as Deion has said, it doesn't have to be necessarily backing down his opponent. It's just mid-range money. If it's Chris Knack, the turnaround baseline, what's his money shot right now? This week, shot didn't fall. I think as the season progresses, he's going to come through. I'm not worried about him because he wants to get better. And these young guys want to be coached hard. If they did not want to be coached hard, they wouldn't have come here. So hopefully could be a difference down the stretch in that last game of the season, where the talent shines through and the improvement because of being coached hard prior to the last game on the championship Monday.
Let's pause one final time when it comes to our sponsors for today's show of Let's Rage Coogs. This is LRC presented by the Saxenian family. Again, thank you to Steve Saxenian for being a primary sponsor of not only this episode of Let's Rage Coogs, but each and every single all men's basketball season long. Of course, we also like to say thank you to Star Pizza and a special thanks to Mike and Jennifer Pittman for being the secondary sponsor on today's edition of Let's Rage Coogs with multiple locations throughout the Houston area. Star Pizza is your go-to stop before or after the game. Check them out online at starpizza.net. Their social media platform, Star Pizza HOU on X, Star Pizza Houston, Texas on Instagram. And while you're at it, follow Hoop and Holler HOU on X. They obviously constantly following the Cougars, and big thank you. They support us not only on the show, but we've done a lot of ticket giveaways on behalf of the Pittmans with Star Pizza and Hoop and Holler. So big thank you to all of our sponsors on this edition. And this is the time where if you are interested in potentially being a sponsor yourself for a future show, be sure to reach out via email that you see on the screen, or if you're listening to us in the audio only platforms, it's Let's Rage Coogs at gmail.com, all lowercase, no extra symbols, just Let's Rage Coogs at gmail.com. Once again, all lowercase. And we are open for business to talk like the Commissioner Brett Yormark of the Big 12. Anything we can do, a banner like we have here with the Saxenian Family Star Pizza. If you want to be a sponsor on the ticker below, we can have a comment section sponsor. When with EV Mux, we can add the logo right above the comment section. There's a lot more things that we can do. We can do ad reads. If you have video commercials that you just like to plug and play, we can do all of that. So if you are interested or potentially know somebody that would be interested, I'll put it one more time on the screen. Just reach out, send that email to anyone who you think might be interested. That's letsragecoogs@gmail.com. And if this is your first time ever watching and or listening to Let's Rage Coogs, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the retweet button, repost wherever platform you may be listening to. Any little bit helps. And if you are returning to the show, big thank you. For the constant support and for the constant comments. You really help the show go along as well. We can have, it's kind of like a conversation, which Kris mentioned either yesterday or a couple nights ago. That was the original vision for this show, a forum for you guys to discuss not only obviously the Houston Cougars, but just the college basketball landscape as a whole.
And and you taking the idea and run with it. LRC is the original Houston post-game show for men's hoops and football. We'll be doing a post-game show this Saturday after the Cougs Baylor football game. It's fun. We enjoy it. We're learning how to, on this new platform, the flexibility and the options that we have available. If you want to be a sponsor, and we can turn one of the segments into a reel and get more views on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and those different ways as well. There's a whole lot of different ways for you to help us, and we can help you in return. But Let's Rage Coogs, we're talking after a win, a grinding out victory over Notre Dame, 10-point win, a few rough spots here and there. But for the most part, Houston Cougars basketball plays ugly. But the bottom line is to win. And they do a lot of winning. And they're going to do a lot more winning this season. And we're going to be along for that ride. And we want you to be part of it. So join us and stick with us throughout this, what we believe will be the ultimate for us is a championship season.
Well said, well said. I got to jump off, guys. I have to get dinner ready for the boys. Another great show. Looking forward to seeing you guys again Saturday. Happy Thanksgiving. Love always to you guys. As always, go Cougs.